Why would we want thermal imaging inside of a ghost hunt? To see what? Oh, come on, guys. It's interactive. Not heat signatures, but opposite. Cold spots, right. So, see how I got to pull teeth to get you guys to answer me? All right, so that's how I would start with this one. So we're looking for cold spots. So with this one in particular, you should be able to see me. I'm the red, orange, and yellow guy in there. So normally I would point out, if you were a bridal party, that I'm the hottest thing inside the video right now. And that is a joke, and I make it on purpose so that way we remember we're looking for blue and black moving around in the photograph, or in the camera. So the blue and black are obviously going to be the colder areas because I'm the white and yellow guy. We're looking for them to move or to take shape. So when I say take shape, I want heads, shoulders, moving arms and legs. Like, that's what we're looking for here. So again, have we caught things like that with this camera? We have. Is it every night? It is not. So again, not a TV show, guys. Sorry. But at the same time, I set up this video to have a blue dot that bounces around the screen for you. So that blue dot will actually show you the coldest spot in the frame at that particular moment. So that's the cool part about this. I'm looking for 15 plus degree temperature drops. We're at about 72 degrees tonight, so I'll be looking for 57 and below. So to kind of get my point of anomalies that I'm looking for. I do a lot of debunking with this guy. I do a lot of debunking with all of the cameras that we're going to be using, especially with the cameras specifically. This is a FLIR camera, so this is what firemen would use to actually help save people. So this is the real deal. This is not a phone app you guys can go home and download, because it is a FLIR. As great as this hardware is, the software sucks. So if we record for too long, we're going to lose footage. So I'm going to actually stop the video at this point, just so, because the intro of how to watch the video is already on there. But with this one in particular, so Aaron, I think I'm going to go with you on this guy. So yeah, I'll take that one. So it's like, yeah, that's kind of cool. So obviously the red square to their vehicle or cutting through the lot, your cameras are pointed in the opposite direction, if you kind of get my point. Be very respectful in here. Some people, you guys are the weirdos. I mean, people are going to walk by and go, what the hell are you doing? Just so you guys know, in case you were wondering. But again, everybody's going to spread out. I am going to keep Daniel behind so I can show him more about his little Ouija board device. But I'm going to be bouncing around with all of you. We're going to do 1 or 2 quick round robins based on what you guys are telling me that you're hearing. And then the 2.5 and higher, our new base right now is 7.1. Right. So anything above a 7.1. Once you go above 25 will be your new base for the entire duration that we're here. Have you had anything else above a 7.1? No. Okay. All right, everybody, let's spread out. Let's see what we can do. All right. So I really talk to the air. Whatever you're comfortable with. You want to focus on it? That's fine too. With your device, you got a couple of them.
Dude, that building.
Come up here with me.
I'm trying not to move around too much.
You can come up here with me.
Yeah, I got no, I'm saying for like 50.
Okay, sounds good.
Black spot. He's going up to the sky.
Are these stairs original to your house? Eliza, is any of this original to your house?
I don't see any blue. I don't have any blue or black dots anywhere.
Look right here. Because this and this, I think, are original.
Okay. I'm gonna get
That's
you.
why I came over here. Like, look this way.
It's 57 up there, but that's what
It's
it's.
because it's the sky. You've got to keep the sky out of it.
I know, but there's literally some spots.
Well, then, that's what I'm saying. Face this way.
This is only so little. I'm gonna go over here and film into this way.
Never mind.
That's a cold spot right there. Baby.
Obviously, I don't know. Last 2 words.
Last 2?
Yeah.
Green and specialist.
Green specialist.
Heard like, hey, you, me, and then it was like home. Like, it was like very defined.
Interesting. Go ahead and mute that one for me, please. And then you and I were chatting, so did you hear anything along the way? All right, perfect. So nothing that really stands out to me. So specifically, with Daniel's device, I'm going to ask him to look for the initials RI specifically in that order. Again, initials have been kind of like the easy play for this, but I'm going to explain a little bit more about that as we kind of roll along. Video cameras definitely get some footage in here. So Chloe, even if you're just sitting there just like that, hit that record button and face it down the alley. If other tours are going to start coming down here, they're either going to pop up out of that ivy wall, or they're going to come in from the way we came in. And that's when we just kind of split the seas, we let them pass, and we'll continue on once they go past. Just kind of keep in mind of where your cameras are pointed. If you're getting right point, good job, but anyway, but yeah, by all means, put that thing on record and just set it on the ground next to you. We'll see if we get anything that shows up later on. Now, here in Philadelphia Alley. So this used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. Again, we are here to kind of stir things up, and then we're going to be going over by St. Philip's Church and Powder Magazine, and hopefully you're going to get more like bleed over from here over to there, even along with the piece of history I'm going to tell you on that space. So it's almost like you're doing a double whammy. But anyway, Duelers Alley. Every ghost tour that comes down here tells the exact same story, because this duel actually occurred and we can actually prove it, but we're not doing campfire marshmallow ghost tour kind of stuff. We're actually going into details. So here's how this goes. There's a doctor that moves down here from Rhode Island. This is why I'm having him look for RI. So if you guys are getting my point, we're going to talk more about that RI in just a second, but his name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. For those of you that are still listening in on the spirit boxes, if you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl, it is not coincidence. We get it here all the time. It is part of his name. So he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancee, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents, and she has an attorney helping her out with all this cash. The attorney thinks that the doctor is just after her money. So he tells Amanda, get rid of the doctor. He moves to Charleston to prove that he's not. He's coming into town, and the postman that brought him in set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a good start to his stay here in Charleston. Somebody was walking by with the name Ralph Isaacs, who has the same initials as Rhode Island. So we were getting the letters RI on the red spirit boxes all the time, and to verify that, I bought the Ouija board device to see if it would actually pop up during this part of the history. And in the 6 months that I've had it, I can say at least 4 or 5 times it has come up on cue whenever I brought up Ralph Isaacs. So, and it comes up on his device, and I don't know what letters he's getting right now, but I can hear it going off for sure, which is very weird. Which, by the way, with yours, Andy, the baseline here is going to be about a 7 because we do have lampposts near us.
Yeah, it's like 4.
Yeah, so I'm not excited about that because of the lamps. But anyway, back to Ralph. He tells the doctor, dude, you don't want to stay here. He's like, I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me to 59 Church Street. You can rent a space from them, and you'll be safe and good to go. Dr. Ladd took him up on the offer. They became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's on after Amanda's money. He became known as the Whistling Doctor because Amanda's moving down so they can get married. It's the 1780s where men actually whistled all the time. Here's what I'm going to tell you about whistling ghosts. Every haunted city has a cliched whistling ghost. We have one too. It just happens to live here. So kind of giving you the gist of like whenever you're down here, every tour will tell you to listen for the whistles because it's always this quiet down here. We have 3 video cameras running plus my voice recorder. You don't have to use the extra energy to be able to listen for it. If it's going to be there, it'll be on one of those 4 devices. Back to the doctor and Ralph. They go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. He gets better seats. That's just the way the hierarchy works for the city of Charleston. So they go see Richard III one night. They're arguing over the new actress on the way home. Dr. Ladd thought she was great. Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It gets ugly. They go their separate ways. Ralph has friends here in town. He goes to his friends at the newspaper, puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a you're a disgrace to society kind of mentality. The doctor saw the ad, but rebutted with, let's go to Duelers Alley. Let's settle this. Keep in mind that this entire argument started over an actress. Yeah, so they came down, they took their 10 paces, they turned, the doctor pointed his flintlock in the air, and he shot his one shot. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up to the fight. Ralph, he has his one bullet, puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. You can see keywords that I look for when we're here, by the way, right? So puts it in the kneecap. He didn't kill his friend, but he's proven that he's still pissed off. So doctor falls to the ground, his friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later on November 2nd of 1786. So he also refused medical treatment during those 10 days after he was taken back to 59 Church Street. Why? It's 1786. Gunshot wounds are a lot different back then than they are now. He probably just tried to bleed out the lead poisoning himself. So, like I said, every tour that comes down here will tell you, listen for the whistles. There's obviously a lot more that goes on down here than just whistling. I will tell you that we had that RI show up several times. We will get the word whistle that will show up on a radio station somewhere during the spirit box. We've had whistling parts of songs. We've had the word doctor, 59, things about the house where he lived in. We have a lot of evidence that shows the doctor does come down here from time to time and will throw us a little nod of, hey, I'm the whistling doctor. So kind of keep that in mind. We're going to be getting a lot of those cues, hopefully, not just here, but also at the next location. But I'm also going to tell you that if you're going to go down this alley all the way by yourselves when I'm not with you, because I can't take you down there because I've been kicked out of here, we're going to get into that. Girl's like, oh shit, who the hell did we sign up for? But anyway, turn on your voice recorders on your phones, see if you get any whistling in the background. But just keep in mind, every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Conway Queen Street throws a whistle down the alley, and it's not always going to be, it's going to sound like a faint wind in the background. It's not going to be it. It's not going to be one of those. So kind of keep that in mind. Here's how we got booted out of here. Now you all are looking at me like, what the hell did we sign up for? This alley, first off, you need to know, did not go all the way through this way. There was a wall this way, about halfway between us and Cumberland Street. Why? Because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. It was called Cow Alley back then, before dual were. That means the bricks on the other side are sun-dried bricks from slave trade. So that means that there is a full handprint from the slave child at the end, along with some fingerprint swipes to the bricks off to the left. So yeah, you guys have head doctors call your red if you're all over town. This is one of those spaces. So I used to take my groups all the way through here. Do you really? Yeah. No. See? Oh yeah. You can't make this stuff up. That's how many letters in the alphabet? What are the combination combos that we could possibly get? But anyway.
I have all the pain.
All the pain, and as I'm talking about the poor slave kid, I treat that brick down there, by the way, the same way I do a grave. That kid's not there. That's the last place you're going to find him. November 26th of 2020, my entire team of 10, same size as you guys, is huddled around that one brick, waiting for something to happen and the gadgets that I gave them. The kid's not there. I'm trying to shoo them along for that fact, and the fact that we're outside the kitchen window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm just trying to be respectful, not realizing I'm out of bounds. I was new at this. So the new owner of the mansion came out screaming. My daughter thought it was great because her dad's getting yelled at, and we moved on. So the next day was Thanksgiving. I don't work Thanksgiving because I worked in retail management before this. I don't do Thanksgiving. The day after that, I called my partner. It's November 28th. Yes, the date's irrelevant. We'll get to it. But I called my partner that I had at the time, kind of piggybacking off learning tourism, and I told him what happened. He said, dude, you can't go down that far. You're only allowed to go down halfway, or you got to reroute the group. I decided that night, I had another cool night because it's Black Friday. I'm going to reroute the group. What I told them was, I don't believe in the next story. I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person. If you haven't picked up, we're going to be talking about pirates next. So, somebody on a spirit box heard the name Anne on a spirit box before we left this area. I didn't tell them who we were going to be investigating. The famous female pirate Anne Bonny. So I went, okay, maybe we have something. We get up there, I told them what little bit I did know about piracy, like we kind of winged it a little bit. Somebody else hears the number 300. I don't know what that means. I write it down, I researched the next morning. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy, November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. So you guys are looking at me like I see the surprised looks on your faces, but I was like, damn it. Here's my problem with pirates. Master's degree in creative writing, I need data and facts. Pirate stories are based off of pirate lore. Nothing is concrete enough for me to say, this is what's going on. I've read more damn books on pirates trying to debunk these stories as much as I possibly could to make sure everything we're going to be discussing is accurate as possible at our next location. So we are going to let this gentleman pass through here, and then you guys are going to tell me if you guys have heard anything, have seen anything, and then before we go talk about rated R pirates. Yes, that was a joke about pirates, and I need the word rated R. So.
The red stickers that light up on here. Like red.
Yeah.
There was red on the wall.
Oh.
No.
Were you recording?
When she was recording. There was red. Yes. No. There was red on the wall and on there. It's like bouncing.
I've seen a little flash there. So trees are not your best friend with that because leaves are always in front of me.
There was right here.
Yeah.
Here and
there.
here.
Definitely ties in.
But then she picked it up and paused it. So
Because it was on the line. So she's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah.
I know. But I was seeing something.
Anything else coming out of there besides the RI over there?
It's spelled the word. It's spelled the word.
Alright. Again, getting words spelled out for us is weird. But I mean, you've given me how many words so far tonight? You had that weird anagram. Uh-oh. Yeah.
War was spelled W-A-R. Play was out of order.
else being heard or said. So I definitely need to check the SLS for this location.
How about McKenna?
Kind of newer of a name, I think. It might be more of a last name than it would have been a first name for the 1700s. Before we leave the space, the gate behind me, just kind of a quick of why that's actually there. Remember that the alley didn't go all the way through this way. If there was a loser to the duel, this was a shortcut to get over to the cemetery that's on the other side of this wall. So a lot of people don't know why this archway is actually here. The wrought iron was probably put here in the early 1900s, but the archway you can see is definitely original work from the alley itself. But again, I always like to call this the death gate because otherwise, if there was a loser and this gate wasn't here, they had to go all the way down to Queen Street and move back and double back. Like that's a lot of steps with dead weight. So this was just a kind of a shortcut to get over St. Philip's Cemetery and drop off the dead bodies so they can go celebrate the week. Carol's looking at like, oh shit, this time is here. So, are we ready to go learn about crazy pirates and investigate even more? Those of you with cameras, if you want to keep them running, just be discreet. We're going to stay out of the, you guys get the point. We're going to stay out of the way of the other tours if there's anybody over there. But again, it's only right around the corner, so if you don't want to stop and video, let's get rolling. Come on, well, we got to get you back to work. Crazy?
I heard a number, 27%.
I don't know, but that's a very specific number.
Mine's stuck on this. I don't know if it reads that.
Anybody else got anything weird? Anybody at all?
Just girl.
Girl. We do get a lot of female gender terms over here, which is why. You got her as well?
That was back there.
Back over by...
Yeah, it was like as soon as we were leaving the alley, I heard girl.
And you're like super study focused over there. I love how he's laser focused on this, by the way. Anything else coming out of there crazy?
No.
Okay.
I need vowels.
I'll call Vanna. She actually lives in Myrtle Beach. It's not a big deal. I'll get her down here for you. I've actually seen her house before, believe it or not. And you had girl, cameras running, so we're good. Chloe, where you at? Russia. So I'm actually pretty excited to go check out the footage that we caught there. So we have had somebody sitting on top of the wall, nothing behind it for pinpoints to be caught, have had it back there in the past. So hopefully you caught something along the same lines. So we'll kind of see what happens. By the way, we're back here. I like to stay out of the way of their tours. They usually like to cut through here, starting there and going all the way across. I just wasn't trying to bring us by this really crazy porta potty for everybody to come try and use and see if it works out. But the other tours, they like to go up front as well. But we are here literally for the same building that they are. We're just talking about it in a much different light. The little tiny building up at the front, up there by that brick wall, that's the gunpowder magazine. It's a museum now, but it did serve in 7 different wars and 1 rebellion. But we're here because, by the way, those are not crosses on the building. Those are earthquake bolts. We talked about the big earthquake of 1886 earlier. That's the reason why they're there. The reason why I bring those ones up specifically, and if you're not familiar, did anybody tell you guys what earthquake bolts are? Alright, so they're basically turnbuckles. They go all the way through the roof, so if we have another earthquake, like what we did, which we haven't, you can turn the turnbuckles on either side. It tightens up the building so it doesn't incur any further damage. That's the whole point of it. But I will tell you that it doesn't work. It's just a great theory. Those are the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. That's the reason why we're here. They did that because that's the oldest government building in South Carolina. It's finished in 1713. This is what I call a familiar. You guys all watch the TV shows and movies where they use the teddy bear to attract the child ghost? That's because the teddy bear is familiar to the child ghost, right? Because teddy bears have been around forever. Same principle. This building was being constructed at the same time that Anne Bonny was coming here to start her new life. So let's kind of get into this. Follow me. There's a lot of twists in this. Again, if you have a camera and want to keep it running, by all means do so. You just don't need to keep it directly on me. Move around a little bit. You know, it's okay. I'm not going to take any kind of offense. But anyway, follow me. There's a lot of twists here. 1708, right in the middle of the building's construction. I'm sorry, did you hear something?
No, you're good.
Okay. So the young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormac. She comes here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is her mother. You guys with me so far? Okay, got it? So, young girl moves here with her dad and his mistress, the girlfriend. The girlfriend is her mom. The three of them are running away from her father's angry wife. Does that make more sense? He was married, had a mistress, a love affair. She's the illegitimate child of that affair. Okay, everybody on board with that one now? Okay, that's why I slowed down on the twist. There's a couple of them. But anyway, we're talking pirates. So anyway, they run away here and they land in Georgetown. Dad bought a plantation. Mom died pretty quickly. That means he's sending young Anne from Georgetown down here to sell anything from the plantation to keep things afloat. Now, that's why the building is somewhat familiar. We don't have any buildings even round about this age, so we're hoping that she's going to be here at the same time that we are. Back home in Ireland, Anne was kind of a badass even back then. They say at the age of 7, 8, 9 years old, remember it's pirate lore, nothing is exact, they say she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. We had the word knife earlier, so again, a little too far away, but that was my first thinking. I thought, like, where are we? But I've had the nights where somebody heard knife, servant, belly, have all come up in the same evening, and the other person didn't know what the other two people had. So again, take it for what it's worth. Anyway, fast forward, the building's done in 1713. By 1715, pirates are starting to come through Charlestown. Anne is stoked. Why? So she can fall in love and earn her freedom, just like a man. It's a man's world at this point. First guy she falls in love with is James Bonny. I said first, by the way, because there's a handful and we're going to go through them all. James Bonny, and you can already see where this is going, but Dad didn't approve. They ran away to Jamaica, they got married, and Cormac became Anne Bonny. That's where the pirate name comes from. When they get down to Jamaica and they're married, she realizes that James, her new husband, is not Captain Jack Sparrow like what she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. He's a spy. He's a coward. This is not who she wanted. So a few years go by and she falls in love again. We're on guy number 2. This is John Rackham. They call him Calico Jack. This is the guy they based your Johnny Depp character off of, in case you were wondering who this guy is. Calico Jack has his own ship and his own crew. You can't put a girl on a pirate crew. Does anybody want to tell me why? Keep in mind we have a 13-year-old young lady with us. Okay, I'll give you the answer. It's bad luck. So he makes a deal with her. And I get a lot of raunchy answers to that. That's why I was like, please keep in mind it's family friendly tonight. But anyway, he makes a deal. If you dress like a guy and look like my crew, you can be part of the crew. But you're going to be a female in my quarters. She's okay with this. Why? Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. She gets it. It's a man's world. Let's all put 2 and 2 together. She's a female in his quarters. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You cannot have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl, and then they're going to vote Jack off the ship as captain. So he drops her off in Cuba before she starts the show and says, have the baby here, come back later, and let's see what happens. We'll figure it out. She goes and has the baby, but returns with no baby. We have no idea what happened to this child. So none of my research has ever discovered it, so if we get answers, I can't prove it, just so you know. She does come back dressed as a female. This makes Jack pretty angry, because now everybody's going to vote him off the ship as captain. And while she was away giving birth, he captured another pirate crew. They're down below deck. Anne's going to go flirting with that pirate crew to make him even more mad. We're on guy number 3, in case anybody lost track. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack captured. Now we have 2 females, dressed like males on the same ship, trying to be pirates. This young lady's name was Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Now, her and Mary became friends, possibly lovers, more than likely lovers. We're never going to really know for sure, but the British find out where they are. They send a fleet of ships to come take down one pirate ship. Anne and Mary, it's rumored that they were the only 2 people that came up and fought with 1-bullet flintlocks, probably because they didn't know how to use cannon jet, because the other crew that was down below deck, too drunk to fight. Obviously, 2 ladies with 1-bullet flintlocks, not going to take on a whole fleet of ships. They get arrested. As they're being arrested, she looks at her captain in bow, Calico Jack, and she says, Jack, I'm so sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog. The word dog shows up a lot. We've even had it on the Ouija board over there. But again, kind of take that for what it's worth. The judge wants to see the 2 men, quote unquote, that fought back so valiantly on their own. the Calico Jack and the drunk pirates are already dead and gone. He's tried and hung them, so they're already gone. The two ladies go in front of the judge, and they reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves. The judge doesn't give a shit that they're female. He's still going to hang them. They're still pirates. So and they scream out, "We plead our bellies," which means they're claiming to be pregnant because you cannot hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. They're trying to save themselves. Again, he delays the hanging, sends them both back to jail, but Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He was an attorney back home. He bails out Anne, brings her home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4, because we're going to count Mary Reed. She has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Yes, very abrupt ending because we don't know much about her after her pirate career. Mary Reed dies 5 months later in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Now, I only left out a few things, on purpose, so you guys had something to work with. I'm not going to assign questions. This is also not a prominent English woman where we have to tiptoe around. Poke the bear here. Let's get some damn answers from this angry, kick-ass pirate, right? So, here's what I left out. I left out the name of Anne's parents, if you want to ask what those are. Remember, that's the father and the mistress. I also left out the name of Calico Jack's ship on purpose, so you guys had something to work with. The name of the city where Anne grew up in Ireland. And the color of her hair, which I'm sure most of you will guess was red. So I will give you that one. So everything else is fair game. If you guys get direct answers, by all means, get those direct answers. Yeah, people are about to catch. Good call. Thank you. EMF detectors. So with yours specifically, the closer you get to that front half, we have 2 electrical poles. I don't get excited. It's normally along this back half. If you get a 2.5 or higher, we actually had a 4.9 here last night, and I was stoked. It's not the Pinckney Mansion site.
Right.
Just so you guys have that idea. Anything showing up on our word list that we need to know about?
Out 4-time diamond.
Innovative. Anybody hear anything on their spirit boxes yet?
I heard 19.
19. Okay. Nicole, you got anything?
Wyatt.
Wyatt?
That's all I hear. Wyatt. And I still keep hearing galley. I still keep hearing galley.
I wonder if you are repeating in some way, and that's why you're struggling. I'll take a look at yours real quick, because that's weird for you to hear. That's a weird word to term.
That's a weird word, and I've
Yeah.
heard it like 8 times.
Wow. You said Wyatt. Okay, and then 19 was her. All right, guys, let's spread out. Let's see what we can find. So, Nicole, let me take a look at your spirit box real quick. I just want to make sure you're not like replaying something that's already in there.
Is that what's going on?
But yeah, during the day, they start giving themselves
I got most. So you don't have to hold
back's right now, so I need to sit down. I get nothing whatsoever, nothing at all. What?
Karen, what was your dad's name?
row. And then I got Jesus, God, her. But I keep getting like random numbers. Husband.
I had one thing at the beginning. It was like a car window, and it was like it was below 50. It was between. It kept fluctuating between like the high 40s. But other than that, I really haven't had any other crazy like indication of like low temperature droppings.
And I've been below 40, like especially out in this heat, like that's kind of unless somebody had the AC blasted pretty hard. I don't know that.
I mean, I don't think so. Maybe whatever. But that was like had to be like max AC.
Right. To get it down to 40.
Yeah, to get like because it was like the highest it went was like 50. It was like up in the. I'm like that's pretty. That's like freezing. That's just above freezing.
All right. Let's start reining everybody in. Unless you have another. Because there was only 2 people in that store that night, I had the name Tim on mine. Behind me is the bust of Henry Timrod, born in 1828. So I'm like, hot damn, there's my ghost. So here's how this goes. Very brief history on him, just so you guys have enough to work with for what I'm about to do to them over there. The guy being born in 1828 is obviously old enough to go fight in the Civil War. So, but he's sick through most of his life, and he's a writer. So he goes out to fight for the Confederate side because he's from Charleston, and his friends realize he's too sick to fight. So they sent him home, said, go be the voice of the war. Came home, started writing poetry about what was going on the battlefield. So he became known as the laureate of the Confederacy. Like, that's a big deal for us writers. That's a pretty high title. But a few years go by, he has a son. If you guys are going to know about the son, they're not. The son's name is Willie. He was born on Christmas Eve, and he died 9 months later. It's a very tragic death because obviously it's an infant child. So 3 more years go by, and he's still mourning. He's not writing as much as what he was doing before. So his college friend realizes he's not publishing as much. So he basically says, come out to my cottage in Columbia. That's in the middle of the state. Leave Katie and Katie's the wife, behind with her parents to mourn, and you can come finish the piece you're supposed to be working on. He goes out there and writes his last words. His last words were beholder of brief mortality. Basically means person of short life. And then he coughs, and it lands on the page in a blood stain. He had tuberculosis. That blood stain looks like a man writing at his desk. We call it the Blood Book. They show it at the Charleston Library Society 1 day a year on Halloween, and you have to be a member of the society to be able to go see the book. But the internet is beautiful. I'm going to show you what the page looks like, and then we're going to go talk to them as if they are Henry Timrod, hoping. Let's say 11:10 because it's almost there. We are looking to speak to Henry Timrod. I guess first off, so CJ, can you hear me? Good. Stacy, can you hear me?
And me?
Oh, good names. All right. Henry Timrod, please tell us your occupation if you are here with us.
Faith.
Henry Timrod, we need to know your occupation, please. Henry Timrod, we need you to come through, or tell us if there's somebody else here. Who do we have here with us if you're not Henry Timrod? I hope you don't think they're supposed to be memorizing 10 minutes worth of stuff they're hearing. family members, let them know, lift their earbuds or tap them on, like tap them on for a second and let them know they're supposed to be talking.
Hey,
What?
you're supposed to be saying what you hear.
I don't hear anything.
Huh?
Baby, you're supposed to be saying stuff that you hear.
Wait,
You're
what?
supposed to be saying stuff that you hear.
Okay.
If you hear anything, okay?
Okay.
So don't just memorize everything and then say it at the end. Don't do that. When you
Okay.
hear something, say it.
Okay.
All right. So Henry, the young ladies can hear you. You need to tell us through their little boxes that they're holding what you want us to know. I'm going to start with, what is your occupation, sir? Can you tell us what those people behind me are doing?
Death.
They're not dying. What were those people doing with their hands?
$6,000.
Okay, Henry, let's just dive right in. Can you tell us? My tickets are not that expensive, Henry. It's making me. Oh, here we go. Henry, what is coming out of the church right now? We get this answer all the time. Henry, please tell us what sound we just heard out of the church.
House.
Come on, Henry. Henry, what came
That's
out?
about to change.
What's about to change? I want you
Sure.
to tell us what happened out of the church. What sound did we hear? We can keep an eye on the board because the answers could go there too. We've had the word bells being spelled out on that Ouija board when I asked that question. Henry, let's dive back into your
Where?
faith. What did she say?
Where?
Across the street, Henry. You know where the church is. It's St. Michael's. Let's get back into your family. Can you tell us the name of your wife or your son, please?
What?
We just want to know that you're here. Did she say quit? Henry, we need to tell these young ladies what you want us to know. We're hoping to have a small conversation here. I know there's a lot of people here, pretty shy and timid.
22.
Who else do we have here with us? This is not Henry Timrod. I need you to tell us your first name, please. Who was 22 when they got shot? What is your first name?
Left.
Who was 22 when they got shot? I know, there's a lot of noise. It's a busy phone. Paul? Is that what she said?
That's what it sounded like.
Good with the name Paul, but that brings us back to Henry, who I don't think is actually here.
3. The right person comes along.
Now she's getting good at it. Henry, let's talk about your wife. That's usually a happy thought for you. Can you tell us that your wife, Katie's maiden name?
Marco.
Who's your wife's maiden
God.
name? Who's Goodwin, by the way, for anybody that cares to know. Katie, what was her maiden name? Stay connected. Henry, I need you to push through. Ready? Just a T. Know somebody else is here with you? Can you tell us who else is here with you? Just push through. We need to talk to you directly. Anything crazy going on over there? Nothing yet? Yeah, just be mindful of the other tour walking by, so let's huddle back in a little bit. Aaron, you too, please. Yeah, sorry. 16, so 6 minutes.
You were right.
Yeah, I'm usually pretty close. Henry, I need you to tell us what was going on with your wife. Can you tell us how old she was when you met her? She was only 16. He was her school teacher.
He was her school teacher.
Yeah, it was definitely another scandal.
Yeah. Lots of scandals.
You guys can all hear the spirit boxes, right? Like, they are super loud. Henry, we need you to push through. How many people are here with you?
Short.
He was short. Can you tell me what kind of facial hair you had? Prove to me that you are actually here with us?
Outside.
He had a mustache. Very distinctly, very thick mustache.
Material Girl is playing.
She's a black, by the way.
I got commodity and 10.
She wasn't an servant like the Mary Brennan was for the Pirates.
No.
Alright, so no, 3. This is number 3. That's the second time I've said second person. Henry, really push through. Is that how many people are here with you? That's a yes, no question.
Mark?
Self. Fire.
You did not set yourself on fire. Henry, tell us how you died. If you want to start talking about death.
Crashing.
Caution. How did you die?
In public.
You were not in public. You were in a private home.
Business. 766.
I thought we almost had somebody else's birthday of somebody who I actually think is here, but it's off by 2 numbers. Sorry, that's why I'm like looking up. Henry, who else do you have here with you? Somebody that would be older than you, for sure. Who else is here with you?
What'd you say?
7 and come on. Is it Evan? 7.
She said
Over.
Henry, we're running out of time. You know, we only do this for 10 minutes a night, trying to connect with you. So we're running out of time. We are down to about a minute. So anything that you want to answer for us at this point, I need it to be specific to you
Cold.
and to you alone.
Rock. Charleston.
Henry, do you want us to quit and leave? That's a yes, no answer.
Life. 723.
All right, family members, let's tap them out. Let's tap the legs. And then we'll get this party wrapped up. Was it what you thought it was going to be?
Yeah,
you were, and then you were swaying back and forth a little bit. So like side to side. I couldn't tell if you were dancing. I was kind of like, they know they're on display right now.
My chest feels kind of heavy, but like not that I can't, like I can breathe, but it's just.
I felt like
something
I
sitting
needed
on
to
my chest.
breathe heavier.
Yes,
I know.
yes.
I'd had this 2-3 weeks ago. The person we were discussing died of tuberculosis. The person under didn't know that. She came out of it after we tapped her out, and she's like, "My chest is on fire."
Yeah.
I met with them. They left obviously pretty quickly. So once they were gone, I was on my way in the office. I ran to them again. She was still couldn't get that feeling out of her chest. Like she had something in her throat. Like she was going like this even during the session. It was very interesting.
Yeah, that's what like it feels like something heavy. Go ahead.
You have a walk up there?
Yeah, 'cause I think this is up to the pond.
separate in your database all of the things that went on with this whole exchange, so that way you guys can see what I found in the recording and so forth.
So you're saying we'll find more through the research you do?
Oh yeah.